Happening right now, President Joe Biden is in North Carolina to promote getting a coronavirus vaccine.
Yeah, WFMY News 2's Ben Briscoe is live in Raleigh with the latest. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Chad, Maddie, I want to show you Raleigh police have the street blocked off here waiting for the president to arrive. He took off just a little while ago from D.C., and we are told that today he's coming here to the Green Community Center to tour a mobile vaccination unit and talk about slowing vaccination rates. Now, all of this comes as the president falls short of his goal of having 70% of adults with at least one dose by the 4th of July. At the current rate, we're not going to get there until about the middle of July. Now, as I said, he took off around 2. We're told that he's accompanied by Governor Roy Cooper today. Both of them are expected to make it over here a little before 5, and President Biden will start speaking at 5:15 today. If you want to watch that speech, we'll be streaming it on our Facebook page and on WFMYnews2.com. And then coming up right here on WFMY News 2 at 5:45, we're going to have all the highlights of the speech, and we're going to dig into what is slowing down vaccination rates in North Carolina and across the country.
Ben, thank you so much. As of today, more than 6.7 doses of the vaccine have been administered in North Carolina. That should say 6.7 million. Our state's vaccine rate hovers just around 50%. But we want to explain what that means according to the state's dashboard. So right now, 49% of adults and children at 12 years and older who are eligible to get a vaccine are fully vaccinated. If you consider just the adult population, 52% of adults are fully vaccinated, which is good, but we have stayed around that number for several weeks now. Governor Cooper set a goal of vaccinating 70% of people eligible to get a shot by July. That percentage would include children, but we are still a ways off from hitting that mark.
We are extending a really encouraging streak related to one of our state's coronavirus metrics. This graph represents the percentage of tests coming back positive. The latest number is 2.1%. Now, it's on par with what we have seen over the past couple of weeks, and you can see it's much lower than the red line of 5%, which has always been the goal of state leaders. Now, we haven't gone above 5% in 44 days. It's incredible considering just a few months ago, we couldn't even string together 2 days below the line.
Areas where vaccination rates are low are also seeing the highest rate of evictions. This is according to a study done by Princeton University. They included 9 major U.S. cities. Data shows in areas where more than 50% of adults were vaccinated, fewer eviction cases were filed. Studies were done in parts of New York City, Arizona, Houston as well. Right now, nearly 8 million renters in the United States are behind on their rent payments.
And the Biden administration extended the nationwide eviction ban until July 31st. It was set to expire next week, but the CDC says it'll extend the deadline for the final time. They'll then launch a campaign to prevent an influx of evictions once we reach that July deadline.
You can get help paying your rent in the Triad thanks to those federal funds, but I want you to take a look at this map. Counties that you see that are shaded in gray have their own local help programs through cities and their counties. They are offering rent assistance. In our area, those counties are Guilford and Forsyth, and the cities of Greensboro and Winston-Salem. People who live in counties that are blue can get help through the state's HOPE program. But here's something important to note. If you live in either the city of Greensboro or Winston-Salem, you cannot apply for help through the counties, Guilford or Forsyth. The same goes for people who live in the county. They cannot get help from the city. Each local program has several qualifications that need to be met, such as where you live, your income, and as well as proof from financial impact because of the pandemic. All of this information is available for you now on our website. You'll find numbers and websites to help get you started.
A Kernersville police officer who was shot in the line of duty thanked the medical staff that helped save his life. Officer Sean Houle visited staff today at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. He was shot in the face and hand during a scuffle with a suspect. Houle went through facial and hand reconstruction that cost him his middle finger. He recently told us his wife, 2 young sons, and his faith in God kept him alive. People all over rallied behind Officer Houle in the months following that shooting, supporting him and his family with parades, fundraisers, and raffles. But he didn't hesitate to acknowledge without the help of doctors, he wouldn't be here today. We'll hear from him in the next half hour.
Let's take a look at more headlines this afternoon with your 4 to 5 roundup. A Danville man is helping Rockingham County Emergency Services find a missing tuber on the Dan River. Officials say he volunteered to drive his boat around from the Danville area to the Duke Energy Dam in Eden. They are still looking for Teresa Viano. She disappeared last week after her and 8 family members unexpectedly went over the dam. 4 were killed, another 4 were rescued. Viano is the last family member who is missing. A 3-man search looked from the Draper Landing area to Virginia State Line yesterday, but came up empty-handed. Duke Energy has since put up larger warning signs to alert people of the dam ahead. President Joe Biden says he reached a deal with a bipartisan group of senators on his infrastructure proposal. The president met with 11 senators earlier today before he came to Raleigh. The proposal would cost around $1 trillion. Several lawmakers say they are not happy with decisions to cut out climate change, child care, health care, and education. The bill instead focuses on traditional infrastructure like roads, bridges, public transit, and broadband. The plan needs the support of 60 senators to make it to a full vote on the Senate floor. Crazy video and such a sad scene. Dozens of people are unaccounted for after parts of a condo building in Surfside, Florida collapsed early this morning. Officials say at least 1 person died. The complex was a 12-story high building with 136 units. The collapse affected approximately 55 of those units. Officials say some of the units are owned by vacationers who may not have been in the building at the time. More than 50 people have been rescued so far, and crews are still hoping to find more people alive. Only a few dozen people are still waiting on power to come back on in Greensboro after a car crashed into a utility pole. Police say someone hit the pole in the Florida Street and O'Connor Street area, but they have not said what caused that crash. About 4,000 people lost power, but most of the outages have been restored. Duke Energy says they expect to have all repairs finished by 6 o'clock. And a bill to end the $300 federal unemployment benefit is headed to Governor Cooper's desk. It's called the Putting North Carolina Back to Work Act. It would end the federal benefits that are set to expire on September 6th. If the governor signs this bill, North Carolina would end the program within a month. Unemployment benefits have been a topic of conversation in our state. Republican lawmakers and business owners argue they are keeping people from going back to work.
Another one of these lucky June days without the heat, without the humidity. We're just kind of enjoying comfortable weather. And that is something you can still enjoy for at least a couple more hours, let's say. This time tomorrow, things will be feeling a little bit different. But here's how we see it right now, looking across a couple of our different sky cameras. Notice the temperatures here sitting at 80 in High Point, 77 now in Winston-Salem. All of us are, for the most part, in the mid to upper 70s. It's in the 70s in the high country up there in Boone, 72 for that, 78 in Burlington, and 75 up there in Stokes County at the moment. We'll see how many degrees we continue to add this afternoon. Now, the dew points, that's been the key to our comfort. It's been low. That's still the case. Right now, we're seeing them in the mid 50s. Very comfortable for this time of year. This time tomorrow, I expect the dew point will be in the upper 60s to near 70. That'll be back to normal for our area. Now, next couple hours, we're cooling off very slowly, so we get down in the 60s as early as 10 o'clock tonight and cooling off one more time down into the upper 50s. Now, the Hoppers are back in town. Big Thursday night at the ballpark. Should have a first pitch temperature right around 76 degrees with all the sunshine you can handle. Now, coming up, we'll be talking about how that dry sky on radar is going to change a little bit over the next couple of afternoons.
All right, this goes without saying, but if there is food around, Eric Chilton is not too far away.
Oh no, he's at Mac's Speed Shop in Greensboro, grilling and chilling. What a perfect day to do it, Eric.
Yeah, because I don't know what I'm doing, so you have to come here. You guys are going to be ridiculously jealous before this hour is over with. Look at this. We're talking brisket. We're talking all things grilling. We are grilling and chilling at Mac's Speed Shop. They're going to tell us how to do this right, since I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And we're going to talk about this, also ribs, chicken, wings, you name it, pulled pork. It's all that and more. We'll teach you how to grill correctly in just a minute as the 4 to 5 continues. Stay right there.
Mic check, Jalen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A-check. Cool. Jalen needs a nap.
A popular Mebane business is opening a new location. Bright Penny Brewing Outpost is opening a tap room at Tanger Outlets next month. It'll be next to Old Navy there. The company opened its first location in downtown Mebane in 2019.
We know small businesses across the country have really been hit hard during the coronavirus pandemic, but one of those industries specifically was independent bookstores. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey went to downtown Greensboro. He talked with a bookstore that's now back open and running, but they were looking back on the past 16 months. Hey, Jalen.
Well, the team at Scuppernong's bookstore in downtown Greensboro is ecstatic to be able to welcome customers back through their doors once again. But manager Shannon Jones may be more excited about an opportunity they've been presented to be in an upcoming documentary. The documentary is highlighting independent booksellers who survived the coronavirus pandemic.
Well, obviously, any time you get to be recognized for like the work that you do, it feels good. And we're just grateful to have made it through the pandemic. Honestly, a lot of independent bookstores weren't that lucky, and we were really fortunate to have like the community around us who made the effort to order online, do the curbside pickup.
Although many details haven't been released regarding the documentary, it's anticipated to be released sometime next summer. What Jones knows, they wouldn't be in this position without a shift in their business model and unwavering support from the Triad as well as their online community.
But we did learn a lot from COVID. There's some things we learned even about our old operations that we're tweaking a little bit right now. So I would say it was not ideal. It was a really hard time, and we're lucky to have made it through. But we also learned a lot during COVID about ways we can be running better even as a primarily browsing brick and mortar store.
And guys, I'm just glad to see one of our local businesses back thriving and getting the well-deserved recognition for surviving last year. I did a little research, and according to some data put together by Yelp, approximately 60% of small businesses that closed temporarily during the pandemic have now closed permanently. So I'm glad to see Scuppernong's was back and was not part of that 60%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I visited Scuppernong's when they started, welcoming people back in and people were more comfortable going out, because I love to shop online, don't get me wrong. But there's nothing like picking out a book in a bookstore and being able to flip through it, maybe read the back cover and things of that nature, that you just don't get that experience online.
One thing that I've appreciated about them ever since they have been open, for years, is that they always try to do what they can to try to attract other people who might not be your stereotypical book lover. They started selling alcohol. They were part of like bar crawls in downtown Greensboro. So, really doing what they can to try to get as many people in the door as possible.
Yeah, so they're not new to changing their business model like they were forced to do during the pandemic. Did you get a book?
I didn't get a book, but I did order some food from the restaurant next door, and they kind of provided that opportunity, like you guys were saying, with the wine and the food. It's just a great environment. Had a good time.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, are we on Facebook?
Yes, we are on Facebook.
Yeah, we
People
are.
are chatting today.
Oh, okay, we'll get there.
Come crack some jokes and have some fun.
I mean, if you wanted to after this hit for the...
Wait a minute, it looks like I may not even be connected.
And welcome back to you. Hope you've been enjoying this comfortable weather, kind of stealing some nice weather days from the month of June, when usually it's just too stuffy to be outside, but we're enjoying it right now. Here's how the day has looked. We started the morning with some cloud cover. Before I hit play, setting the scene for you, this is in Wake Forest University, right there at the football stadium. We're looking east over Winston-Salem. So let's see how that sunrise looked. Really a nice beginning to the day, but those clouds thinning out by midday, and lately it's all just been puffy fair weather clouds. We're doing just fine. The clouds are actually starting to come in from the north and east, so a little bit of a change in wind direction. And just wanted to let you know, in case you missed it last night, you'll have another chance to catch the nearly full moon this evening. This is a view from High Point last night. And for tonight, how will you see this? Well, the best look is usually when it's low on the horizon. We call that moonrise, just like a sunrise. And tonight it'll be at 9:01, just after 9 o'clock. If you have trees, you'll have to wait maybe about 10 or 15 minutes, and it'll get a little bit higher, looking big and beautiful low in the sky. Take a picture, send it in to us. We'll use it at 11 o'clock. Dry skies right now. We're in good shape for now, but tomorrow, that little front sneaking closer to us brings us a chance of a couple scattered showers, and that'll continue as we go into your upcoming weekend.
Would you look at all that delicious food? I guess we have the meats today on the 4 to 5. It's that time of day where we start talking about food on our show, but today we're talking about grilling out.
And all that kind of gives me the meat sweats, right?
You're glistening.
I love the meat sweats. Yeah, we could all use a few pointers when it comes to that perfect cookout, right?
Eric Chilton went straight to the experts today to not only help Chad with his meat sweats, but he's at Max Speed Shop in Greensboro to help us grill out better.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Got the meat sweats.
What is happening? When Chad Silber is here, He actually said meat sweats. I'm not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about good stuff right now. Brandon Sarkis is with us now. The Pit Master is the coolest title in all of cooking, that's for sure. Hey, so look, when someone's trying to do brisket at home, this is a big undertaking, right? It's a big deal. Show us how to do it from start to finish here.
So basically, you want to take your whole brisket, and it's important to get a whole one. A lot of times you'll find them separated between the point and the flat, two different muscles. So you want to trim the fat cap down on top to about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. And you're going to want to also, there's some fat deposits here on the side you want to cut out. And over here, there's a big chunk you want to cut out. The reason why is you want to get your rub inside there so the smoke can actually get in this part.
Oh, very good.
Otherwise, the fat just covers it all up.
Temperature and how long? Because that's always the key.
Everyone's got their own ideas. I like to do 220 at about 12 or 13 hours. You're looking for an internal temperature on this of about 205. So
12 or 13 hours. So this is the finished product. Of course, mine never
here.
looks like that. But go ahead and tell us what's going on there.
So what we got here is we have one that's actually been for, a solid 12 hours or so. This is actually started out the same size as that one, so they do shrink quite a bit. So we've got a couple different parts here. You're going to have the top part, which is where we get our burn ends from. So we're just going to take the knife and we're going to slice that piece off right here. And then this piece is what gets diced up for our burn ends and tossed in the red barbecue sauce. And then over here, you're going to have your different muscle, which is the flat. And so I'll just slice across the middle for the best possible bite. So. And then here you're going to see your smoke ring there, and of course all that wonderful juice coming out of there.
That is beautiful right there. See, I didn't even know that you had to cut certain pieces. I just cut it and eat it, but that's good. Awesome, that's good. So when we come back in just a little bit, we're going to talk more about some of the other things that I know you want to cook, whether it's chicken or if you want to do pulled pork.
Pulled pork, yeah.
Yes, ribs. We're going to talk about all that. All right, so I asked you on Facebook, take a look real quick. What is your favorite food to grill out? Everybody had a different idea, so while you look at that, I'm going to get my script because I left it over here, out of the way. We had a lot of people answering this pretty quickly, too, because honestly, 4th of July, everybody's in on it. Bobby Odom said, chicken breast over charcoal, lightly marinated with Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. I do love that. Love the charcoal flavor, he said. Sandy said, I love shrimp, chicken, steak, vegetables. I cannot pick a favorite. Plain old hamburger and hot dog is just fine as well. Brenda says, hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken, corn on the cob, and shrimp. Now, shrimp I've never tried on the grill. That would be difficult for me. Joan says salmon and chicken, and then Ron said chicken, pork, and beef, but over charcoal only. A lot of folks saying that they're charcoal fans, guys.
Oh, look at that live shot of the brisket being sliced.
Seriously.
Maddie, what is your favorite cookout food?
Oh, see, I'm simple. I'm a hamburger hot dog gal. So, and the only thing I can actually do on the grill, and the only thing I've ever attempted to do on the grill, is a hot dog. So I'm not really the expert to ask about this one.
Chad, do you have a grill, or do you grill very much?
I do, but it's never like barbecue food. Like I'm really good at like steaks and kebabs and that kind of stuff, but I've never done like a brisket or pork shoulder or anything like that. But I wish I could. I mean,
it can be intimidating. Chilton, I can't believe you just asked him that. You know,
It
Chad
is
grills out here by the Weather Garden almost every night in the summer.
That's right.
He's the grill master of
Never
New
for
Studio.
us, though, does he, Maddie?
No,
right.
never, ever
Sorry
for
about
us.
that. Sorry about that. They're telling us to toss the break, so I'm going to do that to get out of the hole. So we'll be right back.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. If you could predict the future, what would it look like? Now, before you answer that question, Coach Lamont has a lesson on why you may want to focus on your now to set yourself up for a successful future.
Most people believe that the future is this mystical era, an unforeseen vast of time awaiting our arrival. I don't know, maybe you're one of those people. Well, the truth is, the future is not outside of us at all. The future is within us. It is developed by the decisions that we make today. Now, the future you is patiently observing your next move, cheering you on to make the right decisions that will propel you into an amazing and empowered life. The future within is excited for you to pull it out of your spirit and step into it. Now, will you face challenge and maybe fear of uncertainty? Maybe. But remember, you were created to overcome. Therefore, you automatically win. So smile and get your future on. Trust yourself. Your future you is depending on you. So don't let you down. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best you day. I'll see you in the future tomorrow.
Hi. Mike check. Hey, Facebook. Tim wants to know why we let Chad on the show. We love him. We love Chad.
1.9. Hey there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hi. Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner. We have the presence of Chad Silver with us today.
Oh, geez.
Always an honor.
I'm more
Also,
excited about the fact that we have 2 meteorologists with us today.
Oh, wow.
Like if we want to know what the weather is, whether it's the actual forecast or the meat forecast that Eric Chilton is cooking up at Mac's Speed Shop, we'll know it today.
We're going to get it. Yeah, look. Oh my gosh, look at that.
I need to put my order in here. I'll take a brisket.
Wow.
Some
Everyone
pork.
text Chilton what you would like for dinner. He will bring it
Coming
back
right
for
up.
us.
Hush puppies.
Yeah, ooh, hush puppies. They are good. All right, we are live on Facebook, by the way. If you want to join our conversation there, just head over to WFNY News 2's page. We have a lot happening this afternoon.
Absolutely.
Let's get right into it. President Joe Biden is in North Carolina right now to promote getting a coronavirus vaccine. He's meeting with frontline workers who have been giving out those shots and touring a mobile vaccine unit. Governor Roy Cooper will join him today. The two are expected to arrive just before 5 o'clock, and President Biden will start speaking at 5:15. The president is encouraging more North Carolinians to get vaccinated in his speech as the state falls behind in vaccination rates compared to the nationwide rate. The president will participate in a community canvassing event while visiting Raleigh. If you want to watch his speech, we are streaming it live on WFNYnews2.com as well as our Facebook page. And WFNY News 2's Ben Briscoe continues our live coverage at 5 o'clock.
The president's visit comes as we wait to see who won our state's first vaccine lottery drawing. There are 3 important things you need to know about this drawing. First, you're automatically entered if you have had 1 shot. This includes SSI recipients and veterans who got vaccinated through the VA. Next, the state will contact the winner by phone or email. Your vaccine provider should have that information, but you can check our website for a way to double check. Finally, the state says it could take days to confirm the winner, so hold tight. A Kernersville police officer who was shot in the line of duty back in February is thanking staff at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center who cared for him during his recovery.
Officer Sean Houle was shot twice by a suspect, once in the face and once in his left hand. Houle went through facial and hand reconstruction surgery. Today, Officer Houle told WFNY News 2 in a one-on-one interview that the thought of his wife, 2 young sons, and his faith in God kept him alive. The Kernersville community rallied behind Officer Houle, supporting him and his family in the recovery process with parades, fundraisers, and raffles. But he says without his medical team, he wouldn't be here.
If I didn't have this hospital nearby, I wouldn't have made it. So I'm very thankful for the work you guys do. Just really appreciate it.
Houle hopes to return to the force soon, but he still has a lot of recovering left to do. It is great to see him in that video walking around up and talking to the people who took care of him during his recovery.
Yeah, it's come light years from where he was in February when this first happened, and how great for the people who took care of him too, the doctors, the nurses, the staff members, to be able to, it's kind of like coming full circle. You know, he came in there in a world of hurt, and now he's able to come back and thank them for what they're doing. I know that they'll all say we were just doing our job, but I mean, they are truly healthcare heroes.
Absolutely. And once again, as always, the Triad shows up for people in the community, and this story especially. So many things were happening for Officer Houle and his family to help them pay for their medical bills, just to support them through this time. Parades, we mentioned it, raffles, fundraisers, country music stars donating things to raise money for him. So it was just a heartwarming story, and it has been since February.
Right, and I think it speaks volumes both about the town of Kernersville, but also Forsyth County, as well as some of the other surrounding communities that they came together to help someone that they don't know. And I think it's so important to show your support, especially for people who are injured in the line of duty like Officer Houle was.
Glad he is doing okay. Great to see him today.
A lot of other stories we got to get to today in your 4 to 5 roundup. First up, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin will be sentenced tomorrow. You'll remember a jury convicted him of murder in the death of George Floyd. Prosecutors want a 30-year sentence. Sentencing guidelines, however, suggest a max of 15 years for someone with no criminal history. Chauvin's defense team requested probation or a shorter prison term. They even filed an appeal of the jury's guilty verdict, citing jury and prosecutor misconduct. A man accused of killing a High Point University student was in court yesterday. Michael Cadogan is being held without bond in a Tennessee jail, accused of killing Gianna Delgado. Police say Cadogan killed Delgado in their apartment they shared. A 911 call revealed Cadogan called a friend saying he beat and choked Delgado to death. High Point police say they believe this was a domestic violence situation. Police are now trying to extradite Cadogan back to High Point. A Florida man is the second Oath Keeper member to plead guilty to charges related to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Along with his guilty plea, this person also agreed to cooperate with prosecutors in exchange for a chance at a lesser sentence. He is the brother of a Triad woman also accused of participating in the Capitol attack, Laura Steele. The two snapped a photo of a group riding in a caravan to the Capitol. Evidence suggests this person encouraged Steele to join Oath Keepers.
We're really just getting spoiled by the nice weather. As we check in from here outside, continues to be beautiful. There's sun, couple puffy clouds, and just a light breeze, and it's just really comfortable. Temperatures are in the 70s even at this late afternoon hour. It's 4:30 in the afternoon, middle of summer, well, early summer, I guess. Mid and upper 70s. 77 for you in Winston-Salem, 78 over in Alamance County at the moment, and 75 in Asheboro right now. Here's why it feels so good. Talk about it all the time, but it's helpful. The dew point temperature, 55 degrees. Remember, when it's below 60, that's when it feels comfortable, especially this time of year. Typically, we're around 70 for the dew point, and that's when it feels very muggy around June and July. A lot of puffy clouds, but nice and easy, not going to cause us any issues for your evening plans. As we look over downtown Greensboro, all is well. Maybe you have plans to go down and check out the ball game tonight. Hoppers in town yet again, mostly sunny skies. I expect the first pitch temperature to be pretty similar to what it is right now, right around 76. So check it out. Nice night for the ball game, and a lot of times in the summer you got to sweat down there. Not the case this evening. For tonight, your low temperatures one more time going down into the 50s. I don't know the next time that we will do this. So if you like those cool nights, enjoy this evening. Some low 50s even possible in our foothill communities. Now for tomorrow, notice the foothills topping out right around 80 to 81 degrees. Similar story in much of the Piedmont Triad, right around 80. But I will say, there will be chances again for a couple of pop-up showers, maybe a thunderstorm once we get after around 3 o'clock or so. It's not a huge risk, just about a 20 to 30% chance of your house getting wet for a brief time. Keep an eye on that. Part of the reason is we're increasing the humidity, and once the humidity goes up tomorrow, it's going to stay there. You look at that muggy trend, we're right around 70 for that dew point this weekend and into next week. Coming up, we'll show you how that weather evolves in your 7-day.
More than a month after the Colonial Pipeline hack forced supply shortages and panic buying, fuel experts say most gas stations are back up to speed. But if something like this were to happen again, drivers need to feel more prepared. So WFMY News' Meg Malaris is verifying your options when you can't find the specific gas that you need.
That sound means it's time to verify. Today we are filling up the truth tank pertaining to your gas tank and pumping out the fiction to drive home the facts. Okay, puns aside, this is a good question that came up last month as the Colonial Pipeline hack prompted gas supply shortages. If my car takes regular gas but the gas station is out of regular, is it true I can use premium instead without damaging my car? Our sources to answer this are Cynthia Roy, owner and certified auto technician of Roy's Automotive, and Patrick DeHaan, fuel analyst at Gas Buddy. I also refer to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. It explains the gas grades have different octane ratings, which measure the pressure at which fuel will combust. Regular is the lowest octane, usually 87. Mid-grade or plus is a middle range, 89 to 90. And premium, of course, is the highest, 91 to 94. Experts agree, yes, you can give your car an upgrade on gas, but not a downgrade.
The thing is, you can fill up your vehicle with a higher octane than needed. Just don't fill it up with a lower octane or diesel. That could, both of those situations could run into some pretty major headaches.
Roy agreed. Putting diesel into a gasoline car will ruin the engine, but using premium is fine in the short run. She wrote, quote, "You may hear some spark knocking, a ting, ting, ting sound, but it won't hurt anything if it is just one tank of gas to get by," end quote. But just because you can put premium in a regular tank doesn't mean it should be a regular occurrence, and the premium gas won't help your regular car run any differently.
You're just flushing money down the toilet. You may get a very slight increase in fuel economy. There are additional additives blended into those higher octane fuels. But essentially, if your car has been programmed from the factory to run on regular, it is not able to take advantage of what higher octane ratings can offer.
In conclusion, we verified, yes, you can put premium or mid-grade gas in a car that takes regular if your regular station is out of regular gas, but not vice versa. And no matter the circumstance, never put diesel in a gasoline car. That's why the nozzle on the diesel pump won't even fit your car's gas tank. If you hear a claim you want verified, reach out to me. Submit a selfie video of your question to verify at WFMY.com. Please include any relevant links or pictures.
Right now, the average price of gas in North Carolina is sitting at $2.86 a gallon. Greensboro is just higher than that average. We're at $2.88 per gallon, but Winston-Salem falls below at $2.87.
Oh, it is a beautiful day to fire up the grill.
Our very own Eric Chilton is live at Mac's Speed Shop with the experts today, teaching us a thing or two about how to get the best tasting food from your grill. Eric, before you get started, I have to ask you, someone on Facebook says it's annoying when I call you Chilton. Do you care if I call you Chilton, and should I be calling you Eric Chilton?
There is no one in the building that calls me Eric. I don't know why, but everybody calls me Chilton. I don't know what they, well, Manning, the photographer, is saying, I call you Eric. That's true. That is true. All right, we got to talk about this, don't we? We're talking about good grilling tips. How do you do it? Because most of us, we think we know, but we really don't know. So we went to the pros here at Mac's Speech. I just want you to start down here because we talked about the brisket a little bit earlier. Yep, that's that. But then there's this. We're going to talk about how to do ribs, wings, chicken on a grill the right way. I just call this the happy platter because I love sides. I love sides. We're going to talk about all this coming up in just a minute. Stick around, some good tips for your 4th of July cookout.
All right, I am talking about handshakes today. They're part of a greeting. Excellent.
So today is National Handshake Day. It is always the last Thursday of June, but in the midst of the pandemic, you know, we really haven't been able to shake a lot of other people's hands for quite some time.
Right, you had to get creative, like elbow bumps or air hugs.
Yeah, COVID vaccinations, though, are making it safer for us to interact with those we love or maybe who just we respect. We want to shake their hands. Some people, though, may be nervous despite those easing restrictions.
Yeah, Blanca Cobb is joining us to talk about this. Blanca, outside of spreading germs, why are some people worried about shaking or not shaking hands?
What happens is a handshake, particularly with somebody you don't know very well or an acquaintance, is almost like saying hello. You're doing them at the same time, right? Hey, Chad, good to see you again. But they feel like it's part, if you don't do the handshake, it's like part of the greeting isn't there. It's almost like a start-stop. For example, it'd be like, hey, low, right? Or it's like, good to see you, because they don't, because it's like part of that greeting. It's just tied together and people are not sure what to do since they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I actually just had this happen to me the other night. I was interviewing someone and my first instinct was to go and shake their hand, but I didn't know if they would be comfortable. So what body language cues can we look out for people who may not want to shake hands or may think we're getting too close?
Well, one is that they might pull back just a little bit. Sometimes they will see your hand extended, but they're going to pretend they didn't see it and they're going to keep talking. Or what they might do is they might turn just a little bit and start walking. And the reason they might turn and walk just a little bit, even just to change position, is more than likely you're going to do the same and you're going to drop your hand. So what they're doing is avoid actually having a conversation about the handshake. And then facial expressions are a dead giveaway too. Sometimes they'll just stare, or they might have a confused look on their face.
Lots of alternatives to a handshake. My favorite, I think, is the fist bump. I enjoy a good fist bump. How about you?
Fist bumps are great. But then also you want to do two hands. Oh, sorry, Maddie. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to fist bump Chad.
And I left her
really
hanging.
silly.
I left her hanging. Oh, wow. She did great.
Oh.
Back to you.
Yeah.
All right. So I was just going to say you can use two hands. You can put two hands up. You can use two hands to wave. I mean, one thing that you can do with your body language is do an eyebrow flash. And what this is the eyebrows come up. Like you're surprised to see them. Hey, how are you? Right? But the thing is you want to connect with them with your voice, with your facial expressions, and with your body language. And you can smile and say their name, and you want to have warmth coming out when you're talking, because what that does is it sends off those friendly vibes, and then perhaps maybe the handshake doesn't become as important.
And which is your favorite, Blanca?
I would say two hands. Okay. Oh, and the eyebrow flash. I like the eyebrow flash.
Can we make up a handshake?
We
like
can.
a secret one?
Yep, but it's not secret. Like, it won't be secret. Like, we could just like show everybody. But every time I see you, then we'd have to do it. And Blanca, if you ever come back into this building, we could try one of those too.
I would love that.
I love that we are not wearing masks as much anymore because, you know, Blanca, I know you've talked about this in the past, but what you say with your eyes was so important. But now you can say it with your whole face, right? Like the eyebrows are helpful, but now you can smile at people. That's my favorite part of this.
Exactly.
I love it.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to start working on our secret handshake.
All right.
We'll let you guys know what it is. So the not so secret handshake.
Yep. Next week we're gonna we'll come up with it. I'm here for a couple of days, so you guys are stuck with me. I hope that's okay. But if you missed whatever the stuff that we were talking about with Blanca, whatever the stuff, you know.
Whatever that stuff was.
Yeah,
important stuff.
We're gonna put it on our website here in just a couple of minutes, so you can watch it again. We'll be right back.
Hi there. We are talking about President Biden's visit to North Carolina. Has he touched down yet? All righty. Sounds good.
There are so many foods that taste great off the grill.
That is so true, but each one has to be cooked just right or your cookout can quickly become a disaster.
Oh yeah, Eric is chilling and grilling with the pros at Mac's Speed Shop today. Eric, do you have the meat sweats yet?
With my hands.
No, not yet, but just give me time. Maybe during the 5 o'clock news, yes, that could happen. All right, so Brandon's with us today, Pitmaster here. Let's talk about the differences in how to cook this at home, because that's a big difference.
That is a pretty broad difference. Chicken obviously is going to take much less time to cook than ribs, also different temperature. With your chicken, ours is a smoked chicken, so with smoke you want to go low and slow, 220, 240, 250 degrees for just a couple hours till the chicken's done. Same thing with the wings. Really it comes down to, like you and I were talking about earlier, is knowing your grill.
Yeah, and I mentioned that to you because my grill cooks way too hot, but you don't know that till you practice a little bit, right? So that's a key element.
That is a key element. Know what you're cooking with. We also carry around, our little thermometers. These are important too, because this way you know when it's actually done on the outside.
So you stick that in the internal temperature. Does that really work?
It works great.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have one, but mine's weird.
Yeah,
so.
these are the industry standard ones here, so we use them on everything. But go back to this though, your ribs will take about 3.5 hours. Your chicken will take about 2.5 hours, depending on your chicken. And so when you're planning, you can't just put it all in the grill at once and walk away. You got to kind of stage it a little bit. So
you got to babysit too.
Yeah, you got to babysit.
It takes a lot of babysitting. For my friends that have those big green eggs, they know what they're doing. Yes, that's big. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you very much for this. Also, don't forget, if you're like me and you're lazy and you might not want to do it, then they have this pickup thing going on the 4th of July, but you got to get your orders in, so you can do that tomorrow. Is that right? So Monday. Sarah just told me Monday by noon they'll start taking those orders, guys. Love it.
All right, Chilton, thank you. Now, before you fire up the grill, it is important to take the necessary steps to prevent any accidents. The U.S. Fire Administration reports 5,700 grill fires happen in someone's home every year, mainly because a gas grill is not working the correct way. So make sure you clean your grill before each use. Leftover food and grease could spark fires. It is common to use a metal brush, but try out a nylon brush or even aluminum foil. Keep your grill a safe distance away from your house just in case something does happen. You don't want the fire to quickly spread to your house. And also check for gas grills, the hose on those. Make sure there are no leaks. You want to do that each and every year. It is pretty easy to do. Just take a spray bottle of soapy water and spray it on your hose. If you see any bubbles come up, you have a leak.
And you always need a cold beverage right in hand. You set it right there on the grill. That's like proper grilling equipment, I think. You always got to have that cold beverage and make sure it gets refilled. This is how you keep it tasting good. We're looking at beautiful weather for today, but earlier this morning it was a little cloudy, wasn't it? Those clouds kept our temperature down just a couple of hours, but we warmed up eventually. Just hot off the press here, our latest climate report for the day. We're looking at 58 was the official low this morning. Our high temperature did get up to 78 degrees this afternoon. Now both of those, they're about 10 degrees below average. You see that? Our averages are 67 and 87 there. Now a couple weeks ago we had a bit of a drought in North Carolina, but it's actually kind of gone away for the most part thanks to some recent rains. We'll have another chance at getting some scattered rain starting tomorrow. This little bit of a front, some ocean air moving across the state will bring a couple of scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm starting after 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Similar story for the weekend, but I just don't think it's all that wet. These are scattered summertime pop-ups. We're used to that around here in North Carolina, and we'll keep that going into next week.
Coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock, President Biden is in North Carolina. He'll be in Raleigh, encouraging more people to get vaccinated as our state lags behind the national vaccination rate. We'll have live coverage of the president's stop next on WFMY News 2 at 5.
Hello, friends. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie.
Howdy. Hey there.
Hi there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania.
No, I just haven't worn it in a while. Oh. Should I take that? Or is it not doing its thing?
It supposedly was fixed.
Hi. Yes. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check.
Here at the Green Community Center in Raleigh, they've got this mobile vaccine.
It is time for my 2 cents. It's officially summer, and if you ask most people, they'll say it's their favorite season. But is it actually the best season, or are we just conditioned to love it? Stick with me. My sister posed this very question to me the other day. A fall lover, she pondered if summer was all it's cracked up to be, or if we're just told from a young age that it's the time of year we're supposed to enjoy the most. Think about it. As kids, we were given the summer months off of school. We come to associate that time of year with vacation and fun. It was essentially our only time off for more than 12 years of our lives. Would we prefer, say, spring if our break were had been then? Summer actually comes with some downsides. First, it's really hot. Not nice hot, like so hot that your seatbelt burns you, you sweat when you aren't exercising, and the pavement radiates like the surface of the sun. Not to mention it's prime time for severe weather, thunderstorms, hurricanes, you name it. The only sport is baseball, which, don't get me wrong, is America's pastime, but you have to sit outside and bake for hours and hours in a stadium. Gas prices rise, you're likely to get sunburned. Okay, you say in the summer there are fun frozen treats to enjoy. Yeah, good luck finishing that ice cream cone before it melts and your hand becomes stickier than a toddler's after playtime. Oh, and you want to go out and work on your yard? You better get up before the sun comes up or wait until it goes down. And speaking of the sun, you can't sleep in because the sun is up before 7 o'clock. I'm not telling you you can't love summer. I'm just asking you to take a hard look at yourself and figure out if you actually like the season or if you've just been told that you're supposed to. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5.